Hello, I'm Bjorn, movie archaeologist, and welcome back to Temple of Movie Reviews. Today it's a big one. I saw Superman, and I'm going to talk about it real fast. Okay, so right off the bat, this is a good movie. I do have some issues, or some things I'm not really sure how I feel about them. I got to kind of talk about it. So let's work through it from the top, starting with performances. Generally pretty good. Couple of misses here. Right off the bat, I thought Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult, incredible. Absolute hater. The guy hates so much. He does things in this movie that astound me because of how much of a fucking hater he is. It's actually kind of wild. I think he's pretty spot on, comic book Lex. Maybe they could have delved a little bit more into his motivations or given him some more screen time. I think they're kind of saving that for later. We get into it enough of it to really get him. The guy's a fucking hater. That being said, the secondary villains of this movie were a little weak for me, specifically Ultraman. I think they should have gone a little further with him, maybe a little more, which brings me to one of my complaints. I think parts of the third act are a little weak. One, I don't think Superman gets enough action. Superman himself gets enough action in this movie. The movie has plenty of action, but it's not really Superman so much. There's a few set pieces with him, but bizarrely, Mr. Terrific gets the better action scenes of the movie, in my opinion. Superman gets one really good one at the end, but I needed a little more, I think. And I think the movie needed a little extra something with the third act villain, this Ultraman character. There needed to be something more there, I think, and I think it wasn't there. It was weak. He didn't work for me, and I think there just need to be a little something extra, maybe an extra 5-10 minutes or something. I think people agree, but for the most part, the action when it's there with Superman is really great. It looks really good. So I think the other let's keep going through performances. Actually, let me get back on track. Sorry. Lois Lane, I forget the name, Rachel Brosnahan maybe. Pretty good. I think I needed more screen time to really get an opinion on her. I think she's pretty great overall in the role. Obviously, I think we should talk about the big one. That's right, Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, fucking Steam Stealer. He's not in the movie very much, but when he's there, he's super good. I liked him quite a bit. Mr. Terrific, actually the standout. You could say he was terrific. I thought he was second best character in the movie, probably. Kind of a Steam Stealer. Get this man his own solo thing immediately. He's really likable, really well written, well acted. Everything about him is really good. Mr. Terrific stocks have gone through the roof after this movie, especially in the comics. I imagine you're going to see a lot more of him. Superman, he is awesome. He's perfect. I think I don't have any performance or complaints when it comes to Superman about his performance or anything. Even the way he's written for the most part is really good. I have no complaints on that front at all. He's amazing. He plays Clark Kent, who admittedly is not in the movie very much, but when he does appear, he's great, and he plays Superman incredibly. Oh, he's so good. And I see the potential, like, often with these things, like the first performance for an actor as a character is the weakest. Wolverine, Captain America, they tend to get better as they go. This is a really strong first performance from him, so I can only imagine it's going to get better. Even if it stays the same, he's fucking perfect. He's the best Superman in my opinion. He's my favorite. I think this is... I might catch some shit for this. I think this is definitely the best Superman movie. I think Christopher Reeve's Superman is really good, but it's aged. There's some problems with it. I think this is a better movie overall. This movie does have some weird stuff in it, so let's talk about the negatives real fast. Number one, Hawkgirl. She's not bad, but she does this weird fucking thing in every scene where she screeches like, "Rah!" And then like 6 or 7 times in a fight she'll go, "Rah!" No, let's not do that again, please, James Gunn. Can we cut that, please? I don't know how that made it through multiple test screenings. It was the stupidest fucking thing. It drove me crazy the whole time. Why is she screeching like a hawk? I think she does in the comics. I don't think so. It was really dumb. Definitely could have done without the but whatever. There were some bad jokes in this movie. I think other people are talking about this, so I'm not really going to harp on it too much. One joke, which leaked ahead of time and got some major backlash, so I don't know why they kept it in the movie. Lex Luthor, in a throwaway joke, takes Superman by some monkeys on typewriters, making negative reviews about Superman online. I thought that was just omega stupid. I didn't like that joke. I thought it was bridged too far. The movie's campy. I think it works for that, and it's good about that. And the camp in the movie, I have no problems with it, but the typing monkey typewriter joke was just a step too far for me. It was really stupid, and Gunn should have cut it. I kind of wish Ultraman had punched the dog, too. There's been discourse about that, but the guy needed something else. I'll talk about him more in the spoiler. I don't want to get into him too much. Other things. I think overall, the weirdest thing in this movie, and I'm not sure if I love it or hate it, is the structure of the film. Mildest of spoilers, I'm going to talk a little bit about how this movie is structured. Number one, the movie, it doesn't really follow a traditional first act. The movie feels like an extended second and third act, and it's a bold choice. Basically, the movie drops you in medias res, right in the middle of the plot, like mild spoilers. I don't think this is really going to affect your enjoyment, but if you don't want to hear it, like, tune out right now, I guess. The movie begins with Superman hitting the ice injured, having just lost a fight to the Hammer of Baravia, and we never cut back to see what led up to that. The movie just goes from there. So basically everything you've seen in the trailers is probably the first 20 minutes with like one or two shots from the end of the movie, but literally most of it's from the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, which is crazy. There's a lot in this movie we haven't actually seen much of. I feel like the middle of the movie, the second act, although the whole movie feels like one big second and third act, the second act drags a little bit. I think it could have been tightened up, but the first act, I don't know if I like or hate that it doesn't have a first act, really. You were thrown right into the middle of it, and on the one hand, that's interesting, and on the other hand, you're kind of thrown in without a life preserver. You're sort of figuring out what goes on. Eventually, you piece it together, and then it started working for me. The movie really started working for me in the second half of the first act. I like the scenes with Clark Kent and the interview stuff, but the second half of the movie really came together for me. I wasn't too sure how I felt about it up until the second half. I'll be entirely honest. I was like, oh my god, are we so over? But then we were so back at the end. And I think the movie needed a little more. But the first act, the way this movie is paced and the way it's structured is super bizarre. I've never really seen anything like it. It feels like there's an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is a weird comparison, but bear with me. Where the gang tries to steal an urn from a house. And you're dropped into the episode mid-scheme. And you're trying to figure out the whole episode what led up to the scheme. This is the Cape shit equivalent of that, and it's very weird. It's certainly a risk, and it's interesting. But besides that, the movie is good. It's very campy. It's not a bad thing, in my opinion. I actually thought it worked for me for the most part. Again, there are a few things that go camp too far. There's one scene where a joke is made when there really shouldn't have been one. Lex does something bad, and then goes, and that would have been fine because he does something really heinous, and it sort of happens in a surprising way that like he wasn't expecting. So he goes, and that's fine. That's perfect. That's kind of funny. Like, oh, I didn't expect that. But then he goes, wow, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that. He just makes these jokes. And I'm just like, let it breathe, man. Gunn has always kind of had this thing where he's a little afraid to let a serious moment play out without a joke. It would be like in one of my scripts having a character, like a serious character die and then having a character go, well, that just happened. It's just, I'm not a fan of that. It was only one time in the movie, and it doesn't really take away from anything, because that moment is actually very shocking, and I'm actually kind of surprised they went for it. The way it's executed is pretty brutal. I actually think that, I can't talk about this without spoilers, but that maybe should have been set up a little more with one particular very, very side character. So really, my complaints are I'm not sure how I feel about the structure. I'm going to have to see it again to make a decision one way or the other, but it's certainly bold, and it's definitely going to alienate some people. And Hot Girl going, and that one monkey typewriter joke. Those are my complaints. But besides that, a pretty good movie. Crypto is definitely a highlight. Kind of stole the show. He's in a surprising amount of the movie. I could have used a little more action, but overall, this is a great foundation. I know there's a bunch of Easter eggs throughout. I didn't really catch them. I think there's a mural of an old Justice team. I don't know if it was the Justice Society or something else that's mentioned. I've heard it's in the movie. I couldn't catch it, so I have to go back and watch it and pay attention for that kind of stuff. But overall, yeah, guys, he cooked. We're so back. I had previously said that I thought the Batman might team up or come into this universe, and it still could happen, but having seen the movie, I think that's less likely now. I'm probably wrong about that. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll put on my dunce cap. Anyway, yeah, that's the review. I'm going to give this one like an 8 out of 10, I think. I'll either drop that to a 7 or a 9 on rewatch, but it's definitely a good movie. It's not bad. Also, Jurassic World, the more I've thought about that movie, I fucking hate it. I'm dropping it to a 5 out of 10. I just kept thinking about things in that movie, and I was being too generous because I like Gareth Edwards, and I like his previous work, but the more I thought about that movie, the less I liked it. But this one 8, I think is going to be pretty good. Maybe take it up one level later. I don't know how this is going to play to general audiences. I'm going to be honest. They don't explain shit. They just throw you right into it. And you're just along for the ride, man. It literally feels like you're dropping in again at the second act. Like, Metamorpho. Dude just shows up, does his thing. They don't explain shit about him. It's great. There's a lot of stuff I like. I can't want to spoil things, but like the way Ultraman works initially before the third act, kind of clever, kind of cool. It gives Lex some agency I wasn't expecting. I don't want to get into it much more than that, but all in all, this is a very good first movie. Very excited to see what comes next, and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is now on my list. That sounds interesting now. I maybe see what they're going for with that, having seen the end of this movie. So, yeah, that's my review. Let me know what you thought. If you are a Zack Snyder fan, I'm not. Let me have it, baby. I wanna interact with y'all. Otherwise, just let me know what you thought or anything. Leave a like and subscribe. I don't know. This is interesting. This is a movie I'm gonna have to see again to make up my mind on it. I'm overall very positive, but there's some things in it that are just very odd. I don't know what I think. It makes a lot of bold choices, and so I have to really think about my opinions on it, genuinely. But I'm thinking 8 out of 10. All right, I'll see you on the next one.